In this video, we can talk about the fetal membranes. Generally, the fetal membranes are four types. You can see I have developed a easy mnemonic for fetal membranes. You are added in a special BMR company. Here, U means yolk sac. Yolk sac is the one of the fetal membrane which is responsible for nutrition of the embryo, and the amnion. Amnion is another membrane. It is also responsible for amniotic fluid. It gives artificial swimming pool for the growing baby, as well as allantois. Allantois is rightly called as the functional um, functional urinary bladder, functional excretory system, and you can see this planktanoplure as well as boards, and you can see the mammals, reptiles, and the company means Korea. Here, the amniotes, the birds, reptiles, and mammals are rightly called as amniotes because they contains the amniotic fluid as well as amnion. That's why they are called amniotes. They contains the fetal membranes. The remaining fishes and amphibians, they does not show any amnion and other fetal membranes. That's why they are called as anamniotes. Whereas if the BMR means the birds, reptiles, and mammals, they are rightly called as amniotes because they contains the amnion and other fetal membranes. Here you can see the general structure of the embryo. When you see the embryo develops the three types of here. The extra embryonic membranes are developed from the trophoblast of the cell. These the membranes are of four types: the yolk sac, allantois, as well as amnion and chorion. You can see one by one how the functions are there. Fetal membranes. The fetal membranes are four types: yolk sac, allantois, amnion, and chorion. Fetal membranes are four types: yolk sac, allantois, amnion, and chorion. Yolk sac gives nutrition to the growing embryo. Allantois acts as the functional um, uh, fun, um, functional excretory system. Amnion gives it acts as an artificial swimming pool to the growing baby, and it gives protection against the desiccation. Chorion gives protection as well as respiration. This is the functions of the fetal membranes. Here, you can see the fetal membranes. It develops the yolk sac and allantoids are present inside of the embryo, nearer to the embryo. It is developed from the splanchnoplure. Splanchnoplure means it is made up of endoderm. Inside it is made up of endoderm, and outside it is made up of mesoderm. This splanchnoplure will develop the yolk sac and allantois. Yolk sac is meant for nutrition, whereas the allantois is meant for excretion and respiration. Yolk sac is the first fetal membrane which is developed during the embryonic membranes. It is formed of splanchnoplure. Splanchnoplure means it is made up of inner endoderm and outer mesoderm. It is the main function is nutrition. It is having connection with a gut by means of yolk sac. The glandular walls of the yolk sac secretes digestive enzymes which convert the yolk into soluble form. It is absorbed by the yolk sac wall and is sent to the embryo. It can combine with chorion to form choreo-vitelline placenta. Generally, the chorion is one of the fetal membrane responsible for placenta formation, and it is also responsible for the protection. Here, the chorion involved in other membranes, that is with the yolk sac, and forms the choreo-vitelline placenta. And the allantois is developed as a diverticulum from the hindgut of the third day of the incubation. In the case of chick, it is formed of splanchnoplure. Splanchnoplure means it is made up of inner endoderm and outer mesoderm. It is made up of anterior stalk and distal vesicle. Here, its cavity is filled with a saline fluid. It is highly vascular structure. It performs the following functions. It is a precocious urinary bladder. It is filled with excretory product like uric acid. It acts as a respiratory structure. It is an organ of nutrition. It can utilize albumin. It can combine with chorion to form chorioallantoic placenta. Here, the chorion combines with yolk sac to form choriovitaline placenta. Chorion combines with allantois to form the chorioallantoic placenta. One more fetal membrane you can see. There are two fetal membranes. One is the somatoplure. Somato means outer. It shows outer mesoderm and inner the inner mesoderm and outer ectoderm. Outer ectoderm and inner mesoderm. The amnion. Amnion which surrounds the embryo. It is a watery fluid. It acts as an artificial swimming pool for the growing baby. It gives protection from shock and injury, prevents from desiccation. It acts as a artificial swimming pool for the growing baby and gives a cushion-like structure for the growing baby. Here, nowadays, the amniotic fluid is extracted from the pregnant mother and it is analyzed for the various genetic disorders. That is called amniocentesis. Amniocentesis means the amniotic fluid is collected from the pregnant woman and it is analyzed for chromosomal abnormalities and sex determination also. But the amniotic test is completely banned in developing countries like India for sex determination. And the other one is the chorion. The amnion shows inner ectoderm and outer mesoderm, whereas the chorion shows outer ectoderm and inner mesoderm. This chorion is responsible for placenta formation and respiration. It is associated with the allantois to form the respiration, and it also gives protection to the embryo. The fluid-filled embryo sac filled with embryo in reptiles, birds, and mammals. It is called amnion, which is developed from somatoplure. Somatoplure is made up of outer ectoderm and inner mesoderm. The amnion can provide watery environment for the growing embryo, provide protection for the embryo from the dangers of desiccation. It protects the embryo. It protects the embryo from external shocks. Amnion can provide watery environment for the growing embryo, provides protection for the embryo from the dangers of desiccation. It protects the embryo from external shocks. It acts as a artificial swimming pool for the growing baby. It aids in absorption of albumin. It protects the embryo from adhesion with the cells and other embryonic membranes. Here, this is the chorion. The chorion. This is the outermost cellular layer of the boards. Reptiles and mammals. It is developed from the somatoplure. Somatoplure means it shows outer ectoderm and inner mesoderm. It consisting of outer ectoderm and inner mesoderm. It is responsible for placenta formation as well as it combines with yolk sac to form the choriovitaline placenta and it combines with allantois to form chorioallantoic placenta. It gives protection and respiration. generally, when you see the gist about the fetal membranes are four types. They are developed from the trophoblast. Generally, the fetal membranes are also called as extra embryonic membranes. They are yolk sac, allantois, as well as amnion and chorion. The amnion, which surrounds the embryo, and it gives a watery fluid environment to the growing embryo, and it gives protection against the physical injuries, desiccation, as well as watery environment to the growing embryo. Amnion is meant for the protection. The amnion is meant for the watery environment and gives protection to the embryo. Whereas the allantois, it acts as the primordial the excretory system, whereas the yolk sac is the mother for nutrition, whereas the chorion is responsible for respiration. It is also responsible for the outer membrane of the growing embryo. That's why it gives protection, and it also forms the fetal membranes around the embryo. That means it combines with the yolk sac to form choriovitelline placenta. It combines with the allantois to form chorioallantoic placenta. This is the gist about the fetal membranes. Thank you for watching. You please subscribe my channel, and you can see in other channels also.